Hey everybody, how are you today? This is Jim from the Pain PT, and we're going to talk today about your role in regulating your unconscious mind or your limbic brain. And I really want to drive home this point that it's your sort of responsibility or your sort of conscious ability to regulate your unconscious mind that's going to create a shift. Okay, now Dr. Sarno, if any of you don't know him by now, many of you do, wrote a couple best-selling books about healing back pain and mind-body prescription. And he came up with one of his three do's and don'ts. And one of his three do's was talk to your brain, tell it you won't take it anymore. Now, what he was saying there was he was saying we need to communicate to our own unconscious minds and send in the message of what we want. Okay, we have a connection from your prefrontal cortex to your limbic brain, which is where your amygdala is, and all these other brain centers that are basically creating and sustaining your pain and symptoms. So we need to communicate messages to that part of our brain, to our unconscious mind, from our conscious, rational, logical mind. So what type of messages are you sending to that part of your brain to regulate it? Okay, this is called emotion regulation. This is called descending inhibition. What we're trying to do is to get that unconscious part of our brain to listen to us and for it to calm down. Okay, for it to settle down, right? So what we don't want to do is what? We don't want to be sending conscious messages to that part of our brain that agree with it. Oh, there's a problem here. Oh, this pain's terrible. Basically, we don't want to be sending negative, self-fulfilling, or supportive messages in the direction of pain or in the direction of symptoms. Now, when we understand a lot of mind-body disorders and chronic pain and chronic symptom disorders are from your brain, not from your body, then we realize we need to work more on working at the brain level. And one of the ways that we're discussing today is communicating with your unconscious mind from your conscious mind with your messaging or your self-talk. Okay, what are you saying? So one of the things that you can say, and I'm going to ask you this question now, is do you like your symptoms? Do you like your anxiety? Do you like the stress? And the answer is no, right? You don't want this, do you? So you need to start communicating to your brain that says, no, I'm okay. There's nothing wrong here. Brain, calm down. Everything's fine. There's no danger. There's no threat. This is the message essentially you want to be communicating to your unconscious brain or unconscious mind to enact a change. Now, that message needs to get stronger. It can't be a weak sort of, okay, brain, I hope you back down. I'm really scared of you now, because we know fear is what keeps us going. We need to not be afraid of what that part of our brain is producing in our body, which is symptoms. We need to not be afraid of it. So we need to overcome fear. So your message needs to be stronger than the fear. You got to stand up and face what's happening in your body. And again, one of the ways to downregulate your amygdala and your limbic brain is to communicate message of safety, to communicate messages that you're fine in a very strong fashion. That's why Dr. Sarno said, tell your brain you won't take it anymore. Talk with conviction. We know when you read a lot of stuff about influencing your subconscious mind, when you are communicating with your subconscious brain, you need to talk with conviction and authority and very directly, okay? Because it listens to you, and it will. It may not listen at first because it's unruly, it's sensing danger, and you're trying to convince it that there's nothing wrong, there's no danger, okay? So you cannot give in to what it's telling you. So your messages need to be that you're fine, you're good, I'm safe, there's no danger, knock it off, stop. There's lots of things you can say. Just saying no. That's one of the classic things that I teach people now is to say no. You don't want your symptoms. No. No, you're not going to control me. No, there's nothing wrong here. No. And that's a very real message to your unconscious brain. And the stronger you can send it with with more conviction and more belief and authority, the more your subconscious brain will start to listen to you, the more that message is getting there to cause a descending inhibition or down regulation, right? Which is what we want. So I'm really going to encourage you guys to ramp up your self-talk and your messaging to your own brain and how you're communicating. And I want you to catch yourselves when you are getting in agreement with the pain or getting in agreement with the symptoms and thinking there's danger, thinking there's a problem. Because that's the opposite message. You don't want to be sending, that's the wrong message you want to be sending to yourself. All right, guys, create your own messages. Let me know what you're doing, what you're creating for yourself. What are you going to send to your brain? You need to do this each day. You need to do this throughout the day when things are ramping up. Because again, this is a conditioning pattern in one level that will rear its head or will come up around unconscious emotions or suppressed emotions that will rear its head in terms of symptoms. We need to be responding. This is your response is what matters. Your response is what matters most. All right, guys, if you have questions, comments, put them here. Hoping you guys are starting to get some traction moving forward in your healing. If you're still struggling, reach out. That's what I'm here for. Help point you in the right direction to pick out areas maybe where you're still struggling and where you could focus your energy to heal. Take care now.